That actually...
I think that would have been good. How I use stock footage to spice up my commercials. Today's product video, today's behind the scenes is not a mock ad, it is not a spec ad, it is a real social media ad for a real client of mine. Big shout out to Socialite Vodka Soda and their new Bold Orange. What we want to do is make a hero video for this product, and we want to make the video itself bold to match the sort of positioning and marketing around this particular drink. Our lighting is fairly similar to what we usually have for these shoots. We've got the Aputure 300X with a Godox strip light diffuser, Aputure 120D Mark II also with a Godox strip light diffuser, two pieces of cardboard here on the table, one with a cutout for our lens. This will prevent any reflections coming in from this side of the table. We've also got to my left a couple of moving blankets here just hanging from a light stand. This also helps to block some of the other light from another room leaking into here. And finally, we have this little Aputure MC light. This is giving us a little bit of key right on the logo of our can. This little thing right here, this is the Edelkrone Head One. It's a little motorized motion control rotating device. It's typically used on a slider, but today we just have it on the table, and that is what we'll be using to rotate our can. On the other side of this piece of cardboard, we have my Sony a7 III with the Laowa 60mm macro. We're gonna be shooting some of these shots at various different f-stops, but this shot in particular that we'll be starting with is going to be shot at f8. Now you might be thinking, Daniel, f8 is super closed of an aperture. Why would you be doing that in such a dark scene? And the reason is because it is a macro lens. If we shoot too wide open, hardly any of the logo will be in focus, and we want as much of it in focus as possible without having to crank our ISO too high. So I've actually stolen from my girlfriend this little moisturizing spray, some kind of makeup beauty product, but it's a moisture mist, which is going to work out perfectly for condensation on our can. You can just use water in a spray bottle, but we've already got this and no one was using it anyway. Sarah, thank you for letting me use this. By the way, guys, welcome back, Dennis. We've got permission from our mayor to increase our social circles, and smash that like button, not for me, do it for Dennis. Keep going, heavy, 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 okay. So that first shot went really well, and the objective now is to get a shot of the bottom portion of the can where it says bold and orange. To do this, we had to elevate the Edelkrone Head One just a little bit, so I'm using a notebook, and I'm thinking about maybe turning off this light. It's pretty moody. I think we should elevate this even more, honestly. Stick this under there. Yeah, I quite like that. It's very dramatic. All right, start soaking. Drench, 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 and stop. Let's check that out. Yeah, I think we're gonna need black behind because we're on that angle now. Okay, so the plan now is to cut up some orange slices into 4 nice clean quadrants. We're going to attach those to skewers and have them fly out, and then we will mask those slices in behind the can for the flying can shot. Now, if you've seen my behind the scenes videos like this in the past, at times it might seem like my video shoots always go according to plan, as I nail every shot on the first take. Obviously, 99.9% of the time this isn't actually the case, as I do mess up quite a bit. Dennis and I spent over an hour trying to get a shot where we open the can and capture that fizz, that spray that flies out of the top when a fizzy drink is opened. As you can see, despite our best efforts, there was always something I didn't quite like about the shot, whether we didn't get the spray quite right, or there was too much hand in the shot, or when we tried to show less hand, the can wouldn't fully open. It was safe to say that it just wasn't working out. Well, what we ended up doing instead was opening and emptying the can beforehand and tying a fishing line to the tab. With the camera at a low enough angle so that you can't see the opening, I would then tug on the fishing line, pulling up the tab to make it look like the can was opening itself. To sell the effect, I of course edited out the fishing line, added some sound effects, but most importantly, I overlaid some stock footage for that spritz and steam coming out of the top. And it is safe to say that this definitely saved the shot. As always, I got the stock footage for this effect from our amazing sponsor, Storyblocks Video. And actually, this isn't the first time that Storyblocks has come through clutch and saved me on one of my shoots. You might remember the steam coming off the pizza in my Pico commercial, Storyblocks. The snow coming down in my gingerbread video, also Storyblocks. Storyblocks Video is an online subscription service, and with a membership plan, you will get unlimited downloads of high quality stock footage, motion backgrounds, After Effects templates, and overlays. As a member of Storyblocks Video, you can download as many clips as your heart desires, so if you're interested, check out the link in the description below or head over to storyblocks.com/Daniel Schiffer to learn more about Storyblocks Video. It's officially day 2 and we got 3 shots yesterday. So what we've got right now is 2 pieces of glass. The plan is to clean those off, place one down on a black backdrop, put 3 slices of oranges on that first piece of glass before taking the other piece of glass, putting that on top of the orange slices and squishing them down. I think it will look pretty cool, so we're gonna try it out right now and hopefully it works. So now the water is settled and a bunch of little micro bubbles have formed on the walls of the fish tank. So Dennis is just going in with a squeegee that we got from the dollar store, and that should solve our problem. So for those of you who are thinking about trying some fish tank videography at home, what I've learned is that you can't have any light going anywhere else but into the water of the fish tank. So of course we have our black backdrop, but to prevent our 2 lights over here from spilling onto the backdrop, we have 2 pieces of foam core. We don't want any of the light spilling into the front of the fish tank, so we black them out with these pieces of cardboard. That way the light coming out of both these lights is only being directed into the fish tank itself. Now, in addition to that, we don't want to see our reflections coming off of the front panel of the fish tank, so we have this piece of black foam core just basically with a hole cut into it, and that is on our lens. That's going to prevent the glass from picking up any reflections coming from behind the camera. 3, 2, 1, drop. I feel like that could have been good. Yeah. That framing looked decent. 3, 2, 1. Actually, I think that would have been good. Yeah. Alright, so we went to the dollar store and picked up a syringe as well as one of these tubes, and the idea is that we're going to take acrylic ink and put it inside the syringe, connect the syringe to the tube, stick the tube in the water, hide it behind the can, and once we squirt out the ink, it should hopefully look kind of cool in behind that can. The ink we're using is Liquitex acrylic ink, yellow orange azo. Go for it. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So So these next couple of shots were actually taken on the Sony RX10 Mark IV. Now, as much as I wish I had access to a phantom camera that can shoot 1,000 frames per second, I obviously don't. But Sony was actually nice enough to send me a loaner for this camera, and it can shoot 1,000 frames per second. For these next couple of shots, I actually shot at 500 frames per second, and surprisingly, the footage came out very usable. Let me know down below if I should do a review on this interesting, quirky little... It's made with real coffee and real milk. We're of course gonna go to the grocery store and buy some coffee beans and see how we can incorporate that into an ad. My idea for this first shot is to do something kind of fun where we have a top-down angle, start with the can like this, and let it drop into the beans. This is an empty can, but we're gonna be using a full one to get a bigger splash, so to speak. Classic in many coffee commercials is the close-up shot where the milk is pouring into the coffee and you get that awesome cloud and contrast in color. And that's exactly what I wanted to do for Java as well. Out of camera, once in a while, you get a shot that doesn't look quite right, but then you realize once you tweak it a little bit, it actually ends up turning out pretty captivating. Now, it's different at pot, and then I poured the liquid chocolate into a bowl while it rotated on an electric turntable. Simple, but satisfying, as long as you like chocolate. Now, the probe lens gives us a look that I don't think any other lens can achieve. It can make smaller objects look larger than life and provides a really unique perspective. I didn't want to just recycle the same bean explosion shot for both of our Loca Mocha and Mean Bean videos, so for Loca Mocha, I decided to get really close up into the beans with the probe lens and then also dropped some beans on top as we pulled away. When it comes to editing, every video is different. All left to do is to get a hero shot of all 3 cans. I sprayed them with water and then we turned the light right as that condensation droplet was just running down the front of the main can. It's crazy how after several hours of planning, trial and error, filming and editing, you end up with a final product that is so quick. But hey, I love it, and making commercials is what gets me out of bed in the morning, so I think that's all that matters.